a lean-to, but when I suggested it to him and said I would bring a carpenter at once, he flew into such a passion as fairly frightened me. The lean-to should not be touched for $1,000,000. He preferred it as it was, he said. So I let him alone. He is a strange man, and, Burton, I may be mistaken, but I have thought there was something he was hiding. Else why does he never smile or talk or look you straight in the face? And why is he always brooding, with his head bent down and his hands clenched together? Yes, there is something hidden, and Hannah knows it, and this it is which turned her hair gray so early and has made her as queer and reticent as your father. There is a secret between them, but do not try to discover it. There may be disgrace of some kind which would affect your whole life, so let it alone. Make good use of what I leave you, and marry one of the Greys. Lucy is the sweeter and the more amiable, but Geraldine is more ambitious, and will help you to reach the top." This was the last conversation Mrs. Weatherby ever held with her nephew, for in 2 days more she was dead, and Burton buried her in Mount Auburn and went back to the house which was now his, conscious of 3 distinct ideas which even during the funeral had recurred to him constantly. First, that he was the owner of a large house and $20,000. Second, that he must marry one of the Greys if possible. And third, that there was some secret between his father and his sister Hannah, something which had made them what they were, something which had given his father the name of the half-crazy hermit and to his sister that of the recluse, something which he must never try to unearth lest it bring disquiet and disgrace. The last word had an ugly sound to Burton Jerrold, who was more ambitious even than his aunt, more anxious that people in high positions should think well of him, and he shivered as he repeated it to himself, while all sorts of fancies flitted through his brain. "Nonsense!" he exclaimed at last as he arose, and walking to the window looked out upon the common, where groups of children were playing. "There is nothing hidden. Why should there be? My father has never stolen or forged or embezzled, or set anyone's house on fire. They esteem him a saint in Allington, and I know he reads his Bible all the time when he is not praying, and once he was on his knees in his bedroom a whole hour, for I timed him, and thought he must be crazy. Of course, so good a man can have nothing concealed, and yet—" Here Burton shivered again, and continued, "And yet I always seem to be in a nightmare when I am at the old hut, and once I told Hannah I believed the house was haunted, for I heard strange sounds at night, soft footsteps, and moans, and whisperings, and the old dog Rover howled so dismally that he kept me awake, and made me nervous and wretched. I don't remember what Hannah said, except that she made light of my fears, and told me that she would keep Rover in her room at night on the floor by her bed, which she did ever after when I was at home. No, there is nothing, but I may as well sound Hannah a little, and will go to her at once." When Mrs. Weatherby died, her nephew sent a message to his father and sister announcing her death and the time of the funeral. He felt it his duty to do so much, but he did not say to them, "Come, I expect you." In fact, away down in his heart there was hope that they would not come. His father was well enough in Allington, where he was known, but what a figure he would cut in Boston in his old drab surtout and white hat, which he had worn since Burton could remember. Hannah was different, and must have been pretty in her early girlhood. Indeed, she was pretty now, and no one could look into her pale, sad face and soft dark eyes, or listen to her low sweet voice, without being attracted to her and knowing instinctively that, in spite of her plain Quakerish dress, she was a lady in the true sense of the word. So when she came alone to pay the last token of respect to the aunt who had never been very gracious to her, Burton felt relieved, though he wished that her bonnet was a little more fashionable, and suggested her buying a new one, which he would pay for. But Hannah said no, very quietly and firmly, and that was the end of it. The old-style bonnet was worn as well as the old-style cloak, and Burton felt keenly the difference between her personal appearance and his own. He, the Boston dandy, with every article of dress as faultless as the best tailor could make it, and she, the plain country woman, with no attempt at style or fashion, with nothing but her own sterling worth to commend her, and this was far more priceless than all the wealth of the Indies. Hannah Jerrold had been tried in the fire, and had come out purified and almost Christ-like in her sweet gentleness and purity of soul. She knew her brother was ashamed of her. Whether designedly or not, he always made her feel it. But she had felt it her duty to attend her.